right. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Come on, you guys can do better than that.
Awesome, Steve.
All right, that's what I'm talking about.
Fantastic.
So, today I want to talk to everybody about welding, the stuff that holds the world together. Does anybody know what welding is? Go for it. Let's hear it.
Bonding metals together, more plastics.
Very good. What about you?
Bonding metals together with like TIG machines, arc machines, and fuels.
Anybody else? Take a guess at it. Go for it.
Getting materials hot and putting them together.
All right, yeah,
I guess.
you were pretty much right on the nail on that. Welding, the easiest way to explain it is it's the process of joining two alike or similar materials together to be one. So, very good. Has anybody here welded before? Sweet. Do you know what kind of welding you guys were doing?
Arc and oxyacetylene, and then a little bit of TIG.
Mine was like the stick kind, like where it feeds the wire through.
Okay, cool.
I don't know.
CA art, so
I was like 5.
Okay. Joey?
so
No. Okay. So with that, joining two similar or alike materials together, again, like you said, it doesn't necessarily have to be metal. You can use plastics, other composites. It's very basic on a small scale, joining the same materials together. Welding has been around for years. Very, very, very many years. It's been around longer than I've been alive. It actually can be traced back right about 2,000 years to the ancient times. They used to take small gold boxes and pressure weld them together. I'm not exactly sure how they did it, but that's the earliest that I've found that welding takes place. Some of the things that I'm going to go over today are the types of welding that some of you have done in here, my experience and why I've gotten involved in welding, as well as what welding has done for me. So there are actually over 100 different types of welding processes. That's a lot of different ways to join materials together, if you ask me. Three of the most commonly used processes today to weld are MIG welding, which some of you have done. And basically what it is it's a gun with a trigger. And when you pull the trigger, this small little wire comes out. And then with the end of the metal wire, the wire that comes out is actually supposed to be the same material as what you're welding. So when it comes out, it strikes the arc and creates a molten pool of metal. So you got your joints here. You got one piece of metal, another piece of metal going on top of it, and what it does is it melts this top piece and the bottom piece, as well as the wire that's coming out of there, and it fuses it all together. The second process, which is stick welding, uses a stinger, which is what this guy's called right here, a stinger or an electrode holder, and this is your electrode. Hence the name electrode holder, because it holds your electrode as you weld. And with this process, there's no wire coming out of it. Your filler material is the actual electrode itself. So you strike your arc, and that electrode that's 16 inches long, as you're going, it's actually melting away, and it doesn't feed back on. So once you get down to a small stub, you got to throw it away and put a new one in. So there's a lot of stopping time and restarting time, and then you got to strike your arc again and do all that fun stuff. But my favorite process is TIG welding, and it's my favorite because you can do a lot of intricate work with it. You can weld various different types of materials, and it's very simple, but it does take a lot of time and a lot of practice getting used to it. And probably the biggest difference with TIG welding between MIG welding and stick welding is the fact that you have a torch right here. This is your torch and the body. And basically what that does is it creates the arc that melts the metal. So once you get it going, you've got your nice little pool of metal, and you have an actual filler rod in your other hand, which you use and you add into it as you go. Now I'm going to go into kind of why I got involved in welding. I was in high school, and I watched a lot of Orange County Choppers. I don't know, have everybody seen that show? The bike building show. You build custom motorcycles and ride down the road and everything. But I was pretty much obsessed with that, and that's really what got me interested into the whole welding process. Is I wanted to build motorcycles and be cool, and grow a big old handlebar mustache and ride down the road and everything. So I took a couple classes at our high school, and I just loved it. Also, the other big part of why I got interested into it after I tried it out a little bit is there's an extraordinary amount of power that you're holding in your hand. You're taking a piece of metal at, roughly an ambient temperature of 72 degrees, and almost instantaneously, once you strike that arc, you're bringing the temperature of the material up to 2,800 degrees and melting it. And just that raw power in my hand, it's indescribable, and it makes me feel powerful and really, really cool too. Also, welding itself and metalworking processes kind of go hand in hand. It's around us here in this room. It's around us every day when we leave here. The cars we drive, the seats we sit in, the buildings we learn and work in, the planes we fly in, the trains we ride on, the tracks they ride on. It's everywhere. Even in the gear, some of the backpacks that have metal frames, the carabiners. I mean, you really can't walk anywhere and not find some sort of metal, unless you're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. And then you might actually run across the basis of the material, which is iron. That's found in the earth, so it is everywhere. Not only that, but the skill of welding, it takes a long time to master it. I'm not saying that I'm a master at it, but I am pretty darn good at it. There's a lot of concentration, a lot of focus, and a lot of practice that goes on with that. When you have your hood on and you're getting ready to weld something, you put your hood down, it's just you. Just you. So you got to be concentrating. And generally when you're in a shop area, there's a lot of distractions going on. People banging on the wall, slamming metal together, or, running grinders or anything like that. So you gotta know what you're doing. Not to mention you get all these sparks flying around and going down your shirt and in your ear and up your nose, and it's just crazy. But the greatest, I want to talk to you also about kind of where welding has taken me. I've been involved in it for right about 10 years now, and I've had the opportunity to compete as a welder down in San Diego a couple of times, and also within the competition process of going down to San Diego, also going out to Kansas City, Missouri, and competing internationally, which was a great experience. And also welding is actually kind of what brought me out here to Idaho. Got involved in it a lot, and was checking out schools down here at LCSC, and just love the area, and that's basically what brought me up here. Started working in Washington once I moved up here, and then I'm back in Idaho. Currently not working as a welder, but I do like to do it every once in a while. And there's another part of it when you get out of the work aspect of the welding. You get into more of the artsy type stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and pass some of these things around, some things that I've made over the couple of years or so. But it just gives me the freedom to be inventive and creative and pretty much do whatever I want with a medium that's very, very cool. It's malleable when it's hot, and it's hard to bend when it's hard, and you know, once it solidifies, it pretty much stays the way that it is unless there's a big force on it. So, I don't know, has anybody ever thought of doing welding as a possible career? Maybe. We got one guy, maybe, kind of, sort of. All right. Can anybody tell me one type of welding?
Underwater welding.
It's not really a process, but yes, that's a actually
Career field in welding.
right. Correct. Yay. TIG welding. Anybody else? Another one?
MIG welding. Stick welding.
Stick welding. Yay. Another one?
Is that the
MIG.
striker one?
MIG. I heard it. Somebody said it. Very, very good. Does anybody know what the melting temperature of steel is?
2600 degrees.
2800.
2800. Good job. All right. Thanks for joining me today. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and pass these around here. These are pieces of equipment used for welding. But other than that, if anybody has any questions, feel free.
What shades of lenses do you need to weld?
Depends what process you're using. The shade lens in the Oxy 7 goggles is a shade 5. The lens in my welding helmet there is a shade 10.
So what are these compared to like regular sunglasses?
Like 2.5 pairs of sunglasses.
So is a bigger number a higher shade or darker color?
Yes.
So like sunglasses are like a shade 1 or 2?
What's arc? You kept saying it, and I have no idea what you're talking about. You
Arc.
kept saying arc
Darker
striker.
arc.
So how welding works is it uses electrical current to create energy, and that's what causes the molten pool. And the arc is the jumping of the electricity from one to the other. So that's your electrical arc.
So how do you strike an arc? What is that? You kept saying strike an arc.
What it, so
So
you
like you catch it on fire or what?
kind of sort of. So if you have an electrical circuit, right? You have electricity going around in a circle on a wire, and you break it, and you clip one end of that to the table, and then if you put the other one close together, you get that current that's going to jump the gap. So that's your striking of the arc. That's you starting.
Really
Kinda like-
basically electric current coming through whatever device you're using with the
Kind of
current.
like a light bulb,
So your arc is what melts the metal?
or how they make light bulbs.
And again, I mean, there's different processes that don't use electricity, and I'm not even going to go into that because there's 100 different processes. So, thanks for joining me today.
Oh yeah, how enthusiasm.
Huh?
Yeah.
No enthusiasm? More?
Good enthusiasm.
Okay.